name is John Block.
And I'm Melissa Block.
And we are a brother-sister team who created the first legal tiny house village in Southern California. We have 18 houses currently on site. The property, I should say, has 25 spaces. So currently there's 18 filled. There will be 25. And it's just a question of if it's going to be our houses or someone else's. Because the way folks can engage with us, there's actually three primary ways. One is that they can do a short-term rental, which is as little as one night. There's what we call extended stay, which is 30 days or longer, which obviously you save money when you stay with us longer. And the third is to park your tiny house here. And this is something that's really exciting, is that we do have a legal place to park your tiny house. We're at Woodlands House here, unit 15 at Tiny House Block. The dimensions are 8.5 by 24, which with the loft space makes it just around 300 feet. One thing that really adds a lot to the tiny houses is having the front porch. As you can see, we built a red one here because we like the color contrast. It just makes the house pop a lot more at the block. Now let's go inside. So now we're in the living room area of Woodlands. You can see having the warm fireplace is a big part of it. So just imagine hanging out here in the living room with your sweetie or by yourself in a book, however you pleasure. I really like this setup a lot, where you come in and immediately have that sense of home. Here we have the steps. I really like the steps a lot here. These are big, strong steps. We get a lot of compliments on these. Railing is super important, we found, and certainly in the middle of the night, you really appreciate having it. This is the kitchen at Woodlands, and it is without question one of the highlights of this house. Very modern, full size, oven, stove combo, the microwave. And I just think aesthetically, it just really pops, takes this house to a whole other level. I want to point out here, behind me in the stairs, we have a lot of storage space. People really appreciate this as well. Each of the levels here, we like to provide games for our guests. The ceiling, I haven't mentioned that yet. I'm a big fan of high ceilings. Just makes the whole house feel not tiny. So regardless of the house, whenever there's a big ceiling, high ceiling, I'm a huge fan, and that really comes through here, and particularly being in a tiny house. In the bathroom, we have a large shower here with an overhanging rain shower head. I think that's super cool. And then we have additional closet space. So a lot of place where you can put your clothes and your other belongings. There's place here for stackable washer dryer. Again, this is also a very modern bathroom, just like the kitchen. I really love the aesthetic of this. And I just love too the vibe of, you got the window, you can look out, you can wave to a neighbor if you're inclined. And of course, if you want the privacy, have your privacy. One of the highlights of this house too is the huge loft that we have right above me. Plenty of headroom, one of the biggest ones I actually have here at Tiny House Block. Please note the mini split. It adds a lot in terms of heating and AC capabilities. It's all remote control. Warm throughout, and then certainly during the warmer months during the summer when you want to have the AC going on. It's a big value add.
I spoke with a land developer, and his best advice was to find a rundown RV park that, with the zoning and restrictions on land and infrastructure, you know, that's the most cost efficient, and pretty much it's almost impossible to get any zoning changed if it's not already zoned as an RV park. And so we're just really lucky, happened to come across this a year ago, and it was an RV park then, and so we started the process of getting rid of the old trailers that were abandoned, cleaning up the garbage, and then bringing on the tiny houses that are had already. And we want to get more amenities here. The pool was in disarray, it was run down, and so we have a project to get the pool going again and get a hot tub. And then we also want to upgrade our electrical system. That's in the works too, to have better electrical service for the tenants who want a 50 amp.
Yeah, well, I think something that's very attractive about this property, one, it's on the Pacific Crest Trail. Then there's the on-site restaurant, and there's really only one other restaurant here that is barely open. So to have a fully functioning restaurant on site was really attractive. I've been here 8 years, was established. Anyone who's ever been to Mount Laguna knows the Pine House Cafe. So those are two distinct things in addition to all the hiking trails around us. We're surrounded by Cleveland National Forest. I myself have enjoyed the Desert Trail, Garnet Peak. It's really world-class hiking that we have around here.
And also, we're just only an hour from downtown San Diego, so it's just pretty much a straight shot on the freeway, and then short trip up the mountain, 12 minutes, not even that windy. And it's like you're in a whole other world. Most people don't even know it exists. They're like, I had no idea there's these pine trees up here. It's like Big Bear, you know, and it's like, yeah, it's, you know, it's so convenient. So this is the Farmhouse tiny house, and this is themed after my own personal farm where I live. And this one measures 8.5 by 20 feet. So why don't we go take a look inside. We're here inside the Farmhouse themed tiny house. And this one I really like because it has a big open layout. So we come in and we have the kitchen. We have an efficiency kitchen in here with a toaster oven and hot plate. And we have a pretty good size, full size fridge and also a microwave. And then here we have the living room, and unfortunately this wasn't big enough really to have a couch, so we put 2 plushy chairs here. We also stock the houses with games and puzzles so people have entertainment, because we don't provide TVs here because we believe in an unplugged kind of experience up here out in nature. So here we have the stairs, and this is nice because a lot of tiny houses have ladders, and so this is more convenient going up and down. And then we have the safety handrail here and also up there in the loft. Behind the living room we have the bathroom, and what's nice is that it's a really big size bathroom for a tiny house. It has an upright shower, cabinet space.
If you own a tiny house and you like to park it at Tiny House Block, the rent is just $7.50 per month, and that space will include water, sewage, and trash. If you'd like to rent one of our tiny houses in for a month or longer, then the rate starts at $11.50 per month and goes up to about $13.50. And then there's additional $50 per month that would cover the utilities, approximately. Which anyone who's ever rented in San Diego in their lives will know that this is really on the low end when it comes to rent.
So yeah, we do have some long-term tenants. We have a mother-daughter, and she just said how she grew up in this environment, and she's just so happy she can bring that same kind of experience to her own daughter, just being out in nature in the woods. And they do the commute each day, like an hour into town, but she says it's worth it just to come up here and relax and be in nature, you know, for the majority of the time. And we do have most of those seem to be work from home though, because it is hard to go an hour into San Diego.
Yeah, and as we get more commuters, we will be doing a carpool program. That's something that we've discussed. Again, the commitment to community and eco-consciousness, that's something that's inevitable.
It's pretty fragile. I wore it for Halloween once. It was hard to make.
I am Erin. I live in Mount Laguna, California, in a tiny house community.
And I am Paulina, and I am 11 years old, and I am in 5th grade. I live with my mom.
I was interested in tiny houses before. I did some YouTubing and I did some checking out, some researching, and found out it was very complicated to live in a tiny house. Once you own it, it's very hard to find a place to park it and live in it and just enjoy tiny house life. So I kind of wrote it off as just something that may or may not happen, and prices started going up in my San Diego apartment, and I started looking around to see if I could find something a little more affordable. I was just going on just a general apartment website, and I found a tiny house listed, which I didn't know was even possible. So I looked at the website, did a little more digging around, and found out that it was a whole community of tiny houses, and came and checked it out, called up John, who owns it, and asked about it, and he said that they're trying to build a community, that it's currently just vacationers mostly, but they're trying to get some long-term people here. And so I said, sign me up. I'm absolutely interested. Scheduled a tour that weekend, and we came up and put down our credit and deposit fee that day, and we just jumped right in. Okay, well, the indoor, we've got 2 lofts, hers and mine. Hers is slightly bigger than mine, but mine has a balcony door, so I can crawl out. It's a little window that I can crawl out to the balcony, enjoy the best view of the community. And then down here, full bathroom here, bathtub and normal toilet, normal sink. We've got our kitchen here. You might notice I don't have an oven or a range. They offered to put one in, but I said I'd rather have the opportunity for creative thinking. I use my air fryer for everything. I use it as a toaster, a microwave, an oven. I use it for everything. And then I've got a little electric hot plate here too, if I need that. So that's all I need, and I've been here like 5 months, and I haven't needed it any more than that to cook anything. So I liked that I didn't use the space for an oven, and instead I have it for like a little pantry here.
We'll open the peanut butter. We scoop the peanut butter. We put the peanut butter on the bread. It's quite easy actually. And now we put the other bread on the bread. And then we eat the bread. And we can lick the fork, or whatever it is.
And then outside, let's see, I've got a hammock, I've got a fire pit, I've got a jacuzzi that I've just installed. It's an inflatable jacuzzi, so I can take it down in the winter. Can't wait to use that. The hammock's a funny story. It's a folding hammock that you can take anywhere you want. Unfortunately, whenever I used it, people would come running up and talk to me about my cool hammock. And I don't want to talk to people about my hammock. I want to sleep in my hammock. So this is the first time I've been able to just fully enjoy my hammock in peace. It's a perfect backyard for it. Behind, we share a fence with a campground, so when the campground's open and in season, we hear people playing and dogs barking, and we see kids riding their bike. We saw a coyote walking by one morning. That was really neat. I was out feeding the birds, and I looked up, and there was a coyote just staring at me like, "You got anything for me?" So yeah, there's a whole mountain resort back there. I'm like my own little mountain retreat.
We have a guinea pig, or a skinny pig, named Sabrina, and she is a hairless guinea pig. She squeaks a lot when you open the fridge, because she knows there's salad in the fridge. And then we have Noodles, which is right up there, and he is our snake, and he has the scales in between his nostrils make it look like he has a mustache.
Favorite part about living in a tiny house?
Like I said before, I really like the nature. That, and I think it's really cozy in such a small place. Like, I'm not claustrophobic or anything, which would make I don't know if it'll make a big difference, because it's still not like so small. But like, I like how cozy it is in here.
I like that we're basically in the same room. We just have I've got my loft and she's got hers, so it's almost like summer camp, and we're just, I can holler over to her side and she's on her laptop on this side and I'll be on my laptop on that side, and it's just kind of like we're just bunking. Well, we're trying to get more long-term people here, which is why they're really trying to promote this as more of a long-term rental place and not just a vacation place. It'd be really nice to have a community, because when I was her age, I lived in a place just like that, and there were other kids there, and it was just like such a cool community. And we'd have bonfires, and it was just really cool. And we've had a couple of long-term people just kind of come and go, but we'd really like to have more families here.
Yeah, I want friends. Friends here, because all my friends live by my school, which is really far away.
Mm-hmm. But she's starting middle school next year, and so we're going to go to Pine Valley, which is just at the bottom of the mountain. And we're really excited about that, because then we'll have closer friends for sure.
at Flower Fun, Unit 8 at Tiny House Block, one of the tiniest houses we have at THB. It is 8.5 by 16, which makes it just about 150 square feet. Let's go inside. Let's start with the bedroom area. Flower Fun is a theme, so you can see that captured here. I really like the high ceilings. It makes it so enjoyable to sleep in and could easily accommodate an individual or a couple. There's no mini split, so we have the heater here, which more than heats up the room. Does a really good job of that. And I really just love the decor and vibe. The walls here have a lot of character to them. This kitchen is a great example of tiny house efficiency. We have this island here. It's set up on wheels. You can customize your own experience here. We have the toaster oven, crock pot for basic cooking. Coffee, we provide all our guests with coffee, an absolute must here in the mountains, especially in these colder months. We have this refrigerator. Now let's go into the bathroom. This has a surprisingly large shower for a house this size. Our decorations in honor of our Flower Fun theme. And I just really love the wood, the vibe, and you really feel like, yes, this is my tiny house getaway in the mountains.
I'm Nicole. We moved here from North Park, San Diego, which is close to Balboa Park right there. Everyone calls it the little hipster town because it's so trendy. But we sold our condo and we wanted to get rid of our mortgage to come here. The way I found this community was an Adams Street Fair. It was one of the tiny houses over there was parked, and I saw it. I was like 2 blocks down the street. I was like, oh! And I freaked. I was like, so I grabbed my friend. I was like, we have to go see this. We have to go see this. If this is a builder, I need to know. I need to know. I got to go there. So we went, and then that's how we found out how there's this whole community. And when we finally did decide to move out and sell our condo, this was the perfect place. They didn't have any breed restrictions because it's so hard with a dog, especially with a pit bull. But we love it here, and he loves it here. All the squirrels are out, so he gets to go nuts. You like how I did that?
That was good. That's good.
We want to build our own custom tiny house. We want to design it just from experience of walking through some of these, going through the little tiny house fair that we went to last weekend, and kind of getting a feel for different layouts and different little storage techniques and all that. I mean, we want to customize our own, and just to make it work better for us, you know, having 2 lofts rather than 1.
The quality of folks that we attract here are some of the finest I've ever met in my life. Ones who are creative, and they really respect nature and the environment, and they want to go deep when you're in conversation with them. And it's wonderful seeing some of the interactions that we have here at Tiny House Block around the bonfires and dinners that we host here, where these are friends for life that are getting made. I'm really proud of that and looking forward to a lot more of that.
I am making a fancy campfire dessert. Regular cone, chocolate morsels. Pour a little bit in there. The mallow goes on top of the chocolate. Rainbow sprinkles. The best dessert ever created. Ever. I feel like it could have melted even more, but we're good. All right. I'm really good. We did it!
You don't have to have the big house and the fancy cars and all that. You can have a simple, happy life. You know, you don't need those big possessions and expensive things. So that's kind of what it is to us, and that's why we chose to move out here. Just simplify, really.
simplicity, you know, the simple life. We're not bogged down with a bunch of stress or responsibilities or anything. We can come here and feel like we're on vacation, and we appreciate, when we walk in, we just appreciate things like the birds, you know, like we've got like this giant dove that lives here. I don't forget what it's called, Eurasian dove or something. It's like as big as a chicken, and we, you know, this thing will just like sit in our bird feeder, and we're just like, there's Birdzilla, and we just notice things like that, because most people just kind of forget because they're too busy thinking about the bills they got to pay and the thing that happened to them that day. And you can choose to like put that stuff aside and just like see other things. So that's how we bring it here, and we just bring the joy. We don't gotta wait for somebody else to do that.
Hey guys, it's Alexis.
And Christian.
Thank you very much for watching our video.
Yes, and subscribing to our channel.
And don't forget to check out more tiny house stories
And tours.
Oh, and don't forget to join us on Patreon.
And again, don't forget to subscribe.
See you next time.
Take it easy, guys.